We all know those GLP-1 injections work wonders, but that price tag almost gave me a heart attack when my insurance denied coverage. I was staring at a choice between paying my mortgage or paying for weight loss. Talk about a rock in a hard place. Then I found Elevate Health compounded semaglutide at just $58 with payment plans that don't require a second mortgage. Same medication, same results, but a price that real folks can actually afford. Visit joinelevate.com today. That's JOINELEVATE.com. Your wallet will be as happy as your waistline. This medication is not FDA approved.
Hi babes, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Final FronTia. It is I, Tia Kofi, and on this week's episode, we have a very exciting one. We've got a candidate for the Green Party leadership who believes in making bold moves in politics, and I voted for him for the leadership because I am a paid member of the Green Party. It's Zack Polanski! Hi, thank you for joining me.
Thanks. I am so unbelievably excited that I might, just have to calm down.
I am unbelievably excited. I'm obsessed with you.
Well, this is a nice way to start a conversation.
It is a nice way to start a conversation.
I got changed 3 times before this, I have to say. So I left my house in a suit and my boyfriend was like, why are you going to speak to Tia Kofi in a suit? And I was like, so I'm a politician, I'm not going to turn up in drag. And he's like, I think you can do better than that. So then I went back and then I tried a bit too hard and I left the house. He's like, no. So then I've ended up in very plain neutral. I'm just here and calm.
No, I love it. And you're wearing a matching outfit to Producer Poppy today as well, which is lovely. Do you know what? I had a similar thought process because I felt like I often host my podcast in full drag because I do drag. That's what I do. But I was like,
wait, you're a drag queen?
Allegedly. Some have suggested it.
I did not agree to this.
But I was sort of like in 2 minds about it. And I had a thought process where I was like, there's a lot of negativity surrounding like drag and gender identity and stuff at the moment. So I was like, I don't want to draw that kind of attention to you in this moment while you're running a campaign. So
that's really, really kind of you. But I also feel like this is the exact moment for politicians to be speaking up for trans people, for LGBT community, for drag queens who might or might not be gay. And actually, I think this isn't a moment to shy away. I respect your thought in doing that today for me. But I think it's the time we've all got to be unapologetically ourselves.
I feel like this is what you mean when you're talking about like being a bit bold and like shaking things up a little bit.
Well, I think it's recognizing when you're a left-wing politician that the right-wing media are going to hate you. So you might as well lean into it and just, enjoy yourself and make sure you're standing for marginalized communities rather than like the constant triangulation we see from politicians.
Yeah, I feel like that's a better approach than sort of trying to broaden your politics to appeal to more diverse voters. I'm not talking about anyone in particular, I promise. But I feel like that's a better approach and something that resonates more with me as a person, as someone who is a drag queen who's been on a international reality TV show twice. I respect the bold.
It's almost a silly question, but have you seen it get worse in the time from when you were on Drag Race when it felt less controversial to be a drag queen? I don't want to use the word controversial, but it just feels like in the past 12 to 2 years, it's just gone mad.
Yeah, no, genuinely, I feel like the shift from when I was originally on season 2 to UK versus the World, it was so evident and so obvious to the point that like now, like even traveling in drag, like getting an Uber or something, I feel like I can tell the difference in language because like people make a very purposeful effort to say like sir or bro or whatever when you're sat there, which is fine because true for me personally, but it's very nerve-wracking, especially in that kind of circumstance because I'm like, you know where I live now? Like I really don't want to like rock the boat. And it used to be the case that people would get on like public transport to like go to their brunch or their gig in the evening, and you find like a lot of drag performers are not able to do that anymore. Like we'll have to like take everything to the venue to get ready there, or like, travel with people or travel like privately, spending even more money on like Ubers or taxis or whatever. So there's been a massive shift and it's quite
just
scary.
So grim. I mean, I used to work at the Black Cap, so I was around lots of drag queens and I worked at Heaven. You're getting all my work history now.
I love that.
But I just used to feel like if I used to walk out with the drag queens to help them get a cab or even on public transport, like people would look and ask for a picture, but it was nothing but like warm vibes.
Yeah.
And just how incredibly sad it feels to feel like those same performers could now be worrying about, the places they're going or what they're doing.
Wait. When did you work at the Black Cup? This I need to know.
2006 to 2008, 2009, I think.
Was Jimmy Smith still
Yes.
in charge? The legend
stories.
Jimmy Smith. Wait, you know my gay dad, Jimmy?
Oh, there is your gay dad, but yes, I do.
Jimmy, like genuinely, Jimmy Smith. So he went from the Black Cup to the Two Brewers in
Right.
Clapham, and he is the reason that I do drag.
Oh my God.
Because I'd never been to the Two Brewers before, wanted to do a show where I was playing a drag character. He let us do it. He basically made me enter a competition called Drag Idol,
I remember Drag Idol.
hosted by Lavoie when I did it, actually.
Oh, amazing. And Jason Reed, right? The amazing Jason Reed.
Was one of the judges,
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
And my year, Something One came third. Me and Pixie Polite came second, and Danny Beard won. So hosted by Lavoie as well, an iconic
That was
year.
like Drag Race happening before Drag Race.
Yeah, literally.
I love that.
That's what it was. But Jimmy basically like adopted me essentially into this like queer world and this queer experience that I wasn't familiar with. And
I love that so much. I have to say, when I was working there, I was glass collecting, and I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was shy about my gayness, but I just found the drag scene like the thing that wasn't me.
yeah.
I think particularly as like a younger gay man that moved to London, I was really like doing everything I could to not be effeminate. And so the idea of drag was so like terrifying to me, and just I was a bit toxic in the way that I thought about it. I don't think the way I ever said it. So I think I was always like, oh, I'm really interested in what's going over there, and it's fun, but I never want to be seen near it, etc., etc., etc. And I think one thing Drag Race was really good for, both for me, but I imagine so many gay people, was going, this is amazing. Let's embrace our effeminacy. Let's embrace our masculinity. Let's embrace it all. And actually, let's just be who we are. But I think people go on different journeys of that at different times.
Yeah, for sure. And especially, I think the Black Cup was one of the first places that brought Drag Race contestants over from the US
It was, yeah.
to sort of perform there. Did you see
I wasn't
any
there
of
at
those?
that time, but I remember I'd left by that time, but I just remember the excitement about it and not understanding it because I wasn't watching Drag Race yet. And there were just like queues around the block for these people I'd never heard of. And actually I felt then and still feel now, despite the fact I'm sat with a Drag Race icon, but I'm sure you'd agree. Like there's a
Icon.
really good Camden drag queen. Give them some love. Like it doesn't have to be that they've been on TV for you to queue around the block, but it's also understandable when people see people and get to know them over a TV show over time, how they're like, oh, I really want to go see that person.
Yeah, I think I first saw Bianca Del Rio at the Black Cup. That was the first ever drag show that I saw. Do you, now that you've sort of like come to love Drag Race, is there any sort of like drag bars or like drag performers that you enjoy from like the local scene, as you've mentioned?
Yeah, it's Imelda, who I've always
Lady
loved.
Imelda.
Lady Imelda that was while I was working at Black Cap too.
Yeah.
Just think so ridiculously hilarious. And then I'm worried about picking favourites. Like names are flashing through my mind.
No, I understand that.
But yeah, Lady Imelda, who's in Brighton now, I think.
Yeah, she performs like everywhere. She's all over.
And then, oh God, I've not said Son of a Tutu, who will really shout at me that I didn't say Son of a Tutu before Imelda. But Son of a Tutu is a friend, and I worked with them in bars for years. And I really sadly haven't seen them in about 4 or 5 years, but incredible performer.
Well, if you ever need to see Son of a Tutu, she's always at Heaven and always at the Two Brewers as well.
I don't know if Miss D isn't particularly famous, but she's always at Heaven on a Monday night. And me and her used to work together. She's not a drag performer. She just does drag in Heaven. She used to do the door, and we used to do the door together for about 10 years of a night called Hidden, and then a night called Popcorn.
Popcorn's still going.
Yeah, exactly that. And we used to sit on the door together and just group people in, and she was absolutely hilarious.
Wait, how do you go? You've gone from the door, working the door at Heaven, to like...
Before that, I was a flyer boy for GAY, so I just used to stand out in the street and just try and encourage people to come to GAY or to come to the club. And so, yeah, I spent a lot...
Wait, sorry, not laughing with, that's an unexpected twist in the tale.
Yeah, I mean...
You were a flyer boy.
Yeah, I guess the thing to go back to is I was an actor when I moved to London. I'd been to drama school.
Right.
Went to America to study Shakespeare for absolutely no reason other than it seemed like a laugh. Came back, and when auditioners would say, why did you go to America to study Shakespeare? Rather than have some erudite answer, I was like, seemed fun. And they unsurprisingly didn't hire me. So I was a waiter, I was working in bars. And then I kind of fell into working in the gay scene in London.
I love that.
Which, once you work somewhere and you kind of get on with people are like, oh, can you run my night too? Or can you be here at my night too? And so I was just running around all the different clubs and working. And it was, so I went to Black Pride on Sunday, and there was like a beautiful moment of looking and seeing thousands of people and not really knowing that many people. Whereas 7-8 years ago, there would have been very few people I didn't know. And so it's just been amazing to see this whole new wave of generation of particularly young Black gay people, but, you know, across all ethnicities. And I know there's still problems, and we were just talking about the problems, particularly for drag queens, but it's probably also important to remember how things are getting better in other ways too. And so it's not linear that rights get better for everyone or not better for everyone. I think generally for gay people in particular, things are becoming more accepting. It's just particularly our trans brothers and sisters and non-binary people, I think, that really, really need defending.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not good for all gay people. I want to be careful, saying that. But I think generally it's feeling like there's more acceptance happening.
For sure. I feel like we've been out there trying to warn people, but like when rights are taken away for one marginalised group, they can and will probably impact other groups as well.
And we're seeing in America with women's reproductive rights and health rights, and it's exactly what you just said. They kind of go, what's the marginalised community we can go get easiest? And then they just start to strip back rights for everyone, which is why solidarity is fundamentally the only most important thing.
Oh, massively. That I can't remember her name. That diva with the glasses in America now trying to get the Supreme.
Winfrey.
No, not her. The one who's trying to get gay marriage repealed in the Supreme Court, proposing that.
Not Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No. The diva who didn't do the marriage license for the couple, and that became a whole drama years ago, and then she's got herself involved in. Anyway, she's a dick.
Kim Daly.
Thank you, Evil Jimmy, for that tidbit.
On hand at any moment with awful Republicans.
No, it is. That's why we have a diverse range of politics here. Yeah, but it's just true. Like once things are impacting one group, they can impinge on other people, which is why the gays who have slightly transphobic leanings are absolutely insane and ridiculous.
It's so grim. I genuinely find it I don't want to keep talking about depressing things, but I do find it one of the most depressing things, especially when they're older gay people who have lived through Section 28. Some of them are, talking about Stonewall as an experience they've had. And then you go, how can you not join the dots and see it's the exact same playbook against trans people?
Yeah.
It's the exact same arguments, the exact same moral panic. And actually, it's no more complicated than just going, let people be who they want to be.
Yeah, let people piss in peace.
Right, exactly.
It's not that deep.
There's a slogan.
Let's stop talking about sad, depressing things for a second, because I do want to come back to your love of drag and Drag Race. When did you sort of discover that you were into it? Who first showed you an episode of Drag Race on the television?
That's a really good question. I think it was one of my best friends who was called Stephen who is an amazing actor. He was in a film called Fit, which went round every school in the country about 15 years ago to talk about homophobia in schools. And then he toured it with the amazing writer Ricky Beadle-Blair, who's also one of my best friends.
Oh, wow. Well connected.
Ricky's incredible. And one thing I always remember is in the schools, kids would say sometimes, isn't this just propaganda? And he'd be like, yeah, isn't it sad that love needs propaganda? And I just always think that's such a powerful line.
That is smart, yeah.
But I think particularly Ricky was getting me into the ball scene. He hosts balls in Manchester and Liverpool. And I was aware of Drag Race, and I had reservations about it that my boyfriend still has about it, but I've got over them and he hasn't.
Okay.
Which is kind of the neoliberalism of any reality TV show, the kind of cutthroat kind of you are competing against each other. I mean, I feel like within Drag Race, this conversation's rehearsed to death. Like, how much do you compete against your sisters?
Yeah.
But I do genuinely think there is an answer at some point where you go, everyone knows they're going on a competition.
Yeah.
And as long as you're respectful about that and loving about that, then actually competitions are fun to watch and everyone is consenting, and that's totally fine. Side note, but tonight I'm going to, it's my first night off in about 3 months.
Okay.
I'm going to the Traitors live experience.
It's so good.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about it. But I'm taking my boyfriend, who is the most beautiful human being in the world, both inside and out, and hates any kind of conflict, hates anyone being mean to each other, will not watch The Traitors because it looks too intense for him, and he doesn't like people ganging up on each other. Yeah. And I'm just very worried about the experience that he's going to have this evening. I'm hoping it's not going to traumatize him. Although knowing him, he will win. I'll be out first round, really, really into it. If anyone even sniffs that I'm a politician, I'll be gone. But he'll be there till the very end.
I have had this theory about Traitors that I'd be really bad at Traitors because I know what I'm like. Like, I just am a person who exists as the person they are. As soon as I got into that room with strangers, I was with a group of people. It was sort of the trial day for it. So it was all the people who are from Live Nation who do the tickets, or the very corporate. So they had no context for why I was in their group. And I just sort of sat down and I was suddenly very shy, and they were like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, just sort of influencery things. Because I was like, if I tell them that I have been on competition reality TV shows, they'll be like, and I'm like, oh, I'm just sort of post on my Instagram. influencery stuff.
You literally turned into Baroness Basic.
Yeah. And I got chosen, like, I got appointed a traitor by the 2 previous traitors. And as soon as that happened, I was trying to get one of them out. I was like, come on, we need to gang up on him. Brutal. It turned me into a different person. So be warned.
Did you want to be a traitor? Because you get asked when you first go there, don't you? Do you want to be a traitor or faithful?
I was 100% like, I want to try being a traitor because I thought I'd be so bad at it that they wouldn't pick up on it.
Right.
And then suddenly I was a traitor and I was there being like, I think we should go for that bad. Like, it came out of nowhere.
I'm ready for you on Celebrity Traitors. I just hope someone picks us up and bucks you.
Well, that is happening, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
There is one. And
Paloma Faith's going to be on it. I love Paloma Faith.
Me too.
She's amazing.
Tom Daley.
Yeah.
I hope Tom's not a traitor because I really don't think he'd be able to do
I think
it.
he might crack quite quickly.
It's just a very nice young man.
It's true. Although, weirdly, so I was in a show a few years ago called You Me Bum Bum Train.
Which I'm familiar with.
Amazing, immersive show. And my job was to be the Newsnight presenter. And people would come in one after another and I'd have to grill them. And my literal instruction was to try and make people cry. Just like make people feel, as silly as possible. And then at the very end, lift them up so people leave having had a really good experience. And Tom Daley came in through, and I remember thinking, I don't know how he's going to be with politics, although of course he's married to someone who's very political.
Yeah.
Not that we're always what our spouses are. But he was incredibly intelligent, as now I know he is. I just only knew him as the diver at that point. I nearly said swimmer.
Definitely diving, not swimming. No, he is, but I feel like, well, actually, maybe that is the perfect guise that no one would ever suspect, like poor, innocent, sweet Tom Daley.
For sure.
And then actually, he's like dagger in the back. Like
with the sewing needles.
Yeah. Prolific knitter and diver Tom Daley. That's very unexpected, isn't it?
So then I got really into Drag Race.
Yeah, sorry, back to that.
I think I saw season 5 with Alaska and... was Chandra in season 5? No, Chandra was in every season before that.
Yeah, pretty much. Alaska? Jinx won that season. Yes, exactly
Alaska. Alyssa Edwards, that's the drag queen. Alyssa is one of my favourite drag queens of all time. I'm aware that I'm looking in the eyes and saying that. You're one of my favourites too. We're talking about one of my favourite American drag queens.
Okay, fair. Good save.
And I thought she did really, really well on was it All Stars versus the World when she came back? Global. Where that must have been tough to be working at that level and then go back onto a reality show.
Yeah, I feel like for someone like Alyssa, she's going in it with every confidence in the world because I doubt she knew who Athena Leakey from Drag Race Belgique was.
Totally.
Because unlike me, I don't think Alyssa Edwards watches every single franchise around the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like she probably went in there being like, what is happening? And probably knew that she was going to get to the end. Like someone with that level of confidence, I feel like has it in them.
That's so true. And what I love about her is because I also love We Are Here. In fact, maybe even more than Drag Race. I just think, and that's something my boyfriend will watch. I keep talking about Richie. But he's kind of really connected with drag through that in terms of the stories that you see. And obviously it's inherently political too.
Yeah.
I just thought Alyssa was amazing on that.
She was. I feel like that is the show where they sort of, for people who haven't seen it, they...
Go watch it.
Yeah, you must. It's drag queens sort of going to these small rural towns in America and having important conversations and bringing their sort of drag sparkle to that.
God, we need a UK version. So there's a really hilarious moment where, I say hilarious, also grim. I've asked Richard Tice, Reform Deputy Leader, several times to debate me. And he just keeps refusing. He keeps quote tweeting me with things like, what is a woman? And every time I talk about the fact that Reform have taken £2.3 million in donations from fossil fuel companies, he goes really, really quiet. But then I said, will you debate me at Glastonbury? Let's do it on a big live stage.
Oh, that's fun.
And he was umming and ahhing, and then he decided it wasn't a safe space. So I just tweeted at him that he's a snowflake. Anyway, I've been thinking more and more, maybe I should go to the Reform pub, which is in Blackpool, and debate Farage, or go to Bolsover, some really working class area, and go, I'm going to take Reform on their own spot. But how much cooler would it be for someone in drag to go to one of those places, safely, and go, let's put on a drag show in Clapton?
Well, challenge accepted. I feel like that is...
Clacton, sorry, not Clapton. Clapton already has drag shows. Clacton.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
Let's do it together. Go on the road.
What is the most Reform place? With
probably Clacton, just because it's Farage's constituency.
Producer Poppy, can you charge the batteries, get the cameras ready?
Let's go.
We're putting on a drag show.
In a big drag bus.
I genuinely would, because I feel like that is one of the powers of drag, is to sort of bring a little queerness and sparkle to people's lives. It's all about joy.
I've knocked on so many doors, particularly in areas where you would not expect people to be voting Green or the Green Party. And very often people come out straight away with anti-immigrant rhetoric.
Yeah.
And you talk them through it. And then you talk about multimillionaires and billionaires not paying their taxes. And you usually get a point of commonality. And then through that, you talk about austerity and decades of underinvestment destroying our communities. And this is not the fault of migrants. It's not the fault of people just getting by. It's the fault of billionaires and millionaires who are not paying their taxes. But my point in being this is I find you can say all the things you want in the world, but until you've connected with the human being and often use humor on the doorstep. So you kind of have a moment as two human beings where you might let them have a go at politicians and put my hands up and go, yep, I know a lot of them are like that, but I'm not. Then you can kind of get through. And once you've got through and made that connection, you can have some of the most powerful conversations. I really think drag, in the same way as clowning, not them comparing the two things, but kind of art, just cuts through that because people's guards just kind of lift somehow. And I just think political drag, political clowning, like any kind of character work, I just think is so powerful in the political space.
Well, what I'm hearing is that you're saying that I should run to be a local councillor in full drag. So I will. Yeah,
I would totally be up for that. And I will be first day at your launch campaign ready to support you.
Thank you so much. It does feel like you're sort of like a different energy of like politician that maybe people don't necessarily expect, especially with your background as you've described it. How does that connect? Like, what got you from like Yumi Bum Bum Train into politics?
So I think if someone asked me to encapsulate my politics, it's always the same story, which is talk to the most marginalized group, find out what's going on with them and what they want to change, and then act as the conduit to speak with them rather than for them. So you're making sure they're still in the conversation, and then challenge power. And in almost every exchange that I do as a politician, so I'm elected for London Assembly, but before that, just campaigning, and now hopefully as leader of the Green Party in a few weeks' time, to be able to keep talking to these communities and recognize that ultimately it's all about storytelling.
Yeah.
So you can have the best facts and statistics to hand, and I do a lot of work to make sure that's there because you've got to be credible. But I also know realistically that hardly anyone's listening. Like people are overhearing stats, that overhearing politicians say they're wrong because the truth is this, because people don't know what to believe. But what people really want is storytelling. They want to know who are the good guys, which is the 99%, I'd say it's the vast majority of us, and who are the bad guys, which is the 1%, the elites and corporations who are destroying our environment, destroying our democracy, and destroying our communities. Now, not all the 1% are bad guys. Some of them are literally saying, please tax us more. We want a more equal society. But I'm talking about like our Elon Musks, for instance, who are earning more money while they're sleeping than any of us could ever earn with our hands, our brains, or I was going to give a drag reference then, or our sachets, whatever it might be. Yeah, exactly. And I just think these things, although they sound very different, are all the same thing. They're all basically about grassroots community work and recognizing it's an odd thing to say when I'm running to be leader of a political party, that I don't think the change will come from top down. I think the change comes from the people who are, theoretically at the top of a party saying the power needs to be with everyone in the same way that we do with wealth. We want to redistribute it. And actually, what does it look like when power is redistributed? And the reason why I often talk about marginalized communities is if you protect them or make sure they're the most empowered, that actually protects everyone. Because if you lift rights for the most vulnerable people in any situation, then you're lifting rights for everyone. It's in the same way that if you design a city or a town for disabled people, it's obviously great for the people with disabilities, but actually it's great for everyone because it means you have wider doorways and you have more ramps and better kind of quality of thinking about how you design the space. So I feel like we've gone on a very serious answer here, but I think to link it also to the other stuff I've done, I think it's about having a sense of humor about it all. So the things I'm dealing with, we're all dealing with, are really, really serious. We've talked about the rollback of trans rights. We've talked about the literal dangers that people who perform in drag are facing. We could also talk about violence against women and girls, what's happening with migration, people who can't afford to pay their rent, their bills, etc. These things are all really serious, but the way we communicate about them, the way we connect with people and the way we tell these stories doesn't have to be serious all the time. And actually, I think you can find ways to bring light to the situation or to present a bit of hope, a bit of empowerment, a bit of vision. And so I think all of these things are in some kind of mix where I was either going to go on Drag Race as a contestant, or I was going to be a politician.
No, I see that. I think that's like a really interesting point that you mentioned, because it's something that I use in my life, is like the way that you communicate with people has to be like clear and accessible. Because there was a point in my life where I thought like talking in a fancy way and like making every conversation sound like an essay makes you seem like you know what you're talking about, but actually like connecting with people on that human level is far more important. People not understanding what you're saying doesn't mean that they're going to understand what you're saying. It's literally the opposite. Like, you have to communicate in an accessible way. And I think that also feels like a connection between like your previous life and your current one.
Totally. And you did this, and Davina, who I absolutely love on season 1 also, I think like brought the politics explicitly into the Drag Race space. And I just think that's so powerful because you've got that mass audience where people are listening who, if you ask them about politics, might reject it. Not all of them. I know lots of people are political and watch Drag Race, but lots of them might just not be interested at all. And just these kind of little moments in between the comedy, I just think are more powerful than any political speech anyone can give, because actually you're moving hearts and minds through the work. And I don't think it's either or. I think all of these things can be done in different spaces. And I think we need all of these things to be done.
Yeah, for sure.
I also think, as a politician, you endlessly repeat yourself because you're always looking for key messages. It's called effective frequency.
Yeah.
No one knows this better than drag queens who like know that the audience want to hear their slogan, or they want to hear that like moment again. And I can only imagine as a drag queen how much like there must be some days where you're like, I don't want to say that slogan again, or I don't want to do that thing again. But actually, you don't want to be saying to your audience, oh, you can't have my greatest hits. Here's just some new stuff. You kind of got to do the greatest hits and then go, oh, and here's some new things you might want to consider.
For sure. It's people in the street shouting, I don't want to see any fucking H&M at me. Do you know what? Keep going. It's fine. I appreciate it. I was there. I understand it.
And that was a really problematic moment though as well. So like, I don't know how much you can comment on Drag Race, but as in on Rue as well. But yeah, I was about to dive into a conversation, but it feels like it's not a helpful conversation. But also, people are complex and people can do amazing things like create entire franchises and give, I don't know how many drag queens there must be around the world now, as in hundreds, probably thousands now, right?
Yeah.
Of all the franchises, and give those people platforms and spaces. Like, I don't care what anyone has to say about RuPaul. I think that's a phenomenal thing to do. And like, if you don't think it's a phenomenal thing to do, why didn't you do it before? Like it's easy to criticize. And I don't think they're perfect, and I won't come on your podcast and list my issues with them. But I think people can be complex, and that's fine.
I totally agree with that. And I know we're alluding to some things, but I totally agree. I think you can achieve amazing things and still have problematic moments. I love Tyra Banks,
right,
and America's Next Top Model, but I think maybe doing the race change photo shoot was not a great idea.
And that's the other thing. If you're on TV for that long, like how long's Drag Race been going on? 15 years?
Started in 2009.
And you go back to some of those early seasons, and there is undoubtedly very problematic things to be like being said and done. But society was problematic too. And I think you can see this through Big Brother as well, just the way that like I loved early Big Brother, but you look back and you're like, the things they were doing to those people were just like totally morally indefensible.
Yeah.
But that was like what was culture at the time. And these things are all relative to how you have these conversations.
I think Big Brother's a really good example because I have like an obsession. I was like really obsessed with Big Brother when it first started. And like, I feel like you can tell a lot about society from that. Like, I'm pretty sure this statistic is still true, that every single first evicted housemate has been a woman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And any time that it's been a woman of colour up against a Caucasian woman, it has been the woman of colour.
That's great.
So like, I feel like that like tells you like a lot about what you need to know, because that's not someone making a decision. That's not Rue choosing her favourite to win a lip sync, whether you agree with it or not. That is the voting. That is a cross section of the public.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the voting public giving us their opinion.
And there were those years of Celebrity Big Brother. I can't remember his name. I think he even went to prison. The Bear.
Stephen
Bear. There we go. George the Bear.
George the Bear sounds lovely.
I mean, yeah, exactly. It was just Trump. It was like that was what was about to happen to society. It was like someone being so unapologetically like a dick and like reveling in cruelty and pissing people off and being provocative, and the audience absolutely loving it and wanting to grab every second of it.
Yeah.
And I think any political commentator who was watching that at the time should have gone, this is where our politics is going. And I think so often Big Brother does, and in the way that Big Brother does storytelling and the way they create arcs, that so often, you know, you hear people complain about the edit and it's almost become like, oh, they're complaining about the edit. But there is an edit. And those producers are incredibly powerful in the way that they edit those stories. I mean, sometimes if someone said something and they shouldn't have said it, that's not the edit. Don't say stupid things.
Yeah.
But, you know, villain arcs are pretty easy to create in terms of like angles and the way that you get people reacting. And so I think the parallels between reality TV and politics are incredibly powerful.
Oh, yeah, massively. Oh, I love that you're obsessed with Big Brother. That's like honestly my favourite thing to talk about. I can't lie. I literally... This is not a joke, and it's very embarrassing. I genuinely have a spreadsheet of all Big Brother contestants listing sort of like their information in terms of like gender identity, like sexuality, all of that kind of thing.
Are you on the ITV Big Brother too as well with like Yinra and that crowd?
I have participated in it, and we have actually from the last two, we've only had 2 winners of that one aside from the celebrity. We don't count the celebrity version. I don't feel like that gives us a good cross-section of people's opinions.
I didn't actually watch the celebrity one.
Oh, well, Danny Beard came second.
Oh, amazing.
And a man named Jack from Coronation Street won. Yay. But we had Jordan win, who is...
With Henry, right? His boyfriend. Oh, they're not together anymore.
No, ex-boyfriend.
So sad.
Cyril, I haven't asked either of them if they're what was going on there because it's their personal business, but I do want to know. Jordan, who is mixed race and bisexual, and then we had Ali
Bromley?
Yes.
There we go.
Who is neurodivergent and a lesbian.
And she was amazing. She was
iconic.
just so good.
I'm obsessed with her. She has been here on the podcast.
Oh, amazing. And the way she dealt with, I can't remember, there was like some awful conflict in the first week and she dealt with it really well. I think it was with Khaled. Yeah. Why are these names in my head? I feel like I need to tell the audience who are like, is he not a politician? He should be working. When I come off like a late night debate on LBC or something like that, my brain is buzzing so fast. And I've just realized that if I get home at midnight, even if I've got a 6 a.m. start, I can't get to sleep.
Yeah.
Reality TV is absolutely a thing that just makes me go, and I just let it soothe over me. So my friends find it odd that often I'm watching Big Brother or Drag Race or Traitors 6 months after the winner's been announced. So I watch them over like long periods of time and there's no momentum about it whatsoever. And often I can't remember what happened in the last episode, but I just kind of let it all drift over me just because I find it really like soothing to like make my brain stop.
It is, no, sometimes you need that one thing that like switches your brain off. And like that is often reality TV for me as well. Or like I've gotten quite into like YouTube videos of just like stuff that doesn't matter.
Oh, 100%. Matteo Lane reviewing, I don't even know Matteo Lane, he's a gay comedian reviewing like 90s commercials.
Yeah, love that. Or I watched a video which was like this group of like British people who I watch quite a lot, but they had Ed Sheeran on and they were trying to guess which of the lineup was a professional singer.
Nice.
And I was like, none of this matters. Someone's wearing a tiger head in this video, but it's making my brain just like shush and like switch off for a second.
My one sad story of the Traitors is, so I cycle everywhere and I have like a helmet with speakers that so I can hear it, but I can still hear the noise of the traffic. I'm only saying this because I said in another podcast and I got lots of comments saying, don't cycle without your ears. I'm like, I've got my ears too. And obviously the Traitors is not something you can watch weeks later because everyone's talking about it but day by day. And my colleague Zoe at the London Assembly finds it really sad that I listen to the Traitors and I don't watch it while I'm cycling because I don't have time to sit and watch it, but I want to be like abreast of what's going on. So I listen to it like an audio play.
I guess it kind of would work.
But I don't see Claudia's outfits.
You can look at those afterwards.
Which I do.
Suffice it to say, there's always a fringe. That's
amazing.
That's it. I guess that kind of does work as like a podcasty moment, especially the round tables. I feel like that must be interesting to just listen to rather than see all the visuals. But I guess you miss like reactions and nuance.
I miss reactions, and often if I'm going like it's a short, I skip the challenges. No one likes the challenges, right?
No, especially not audio only, where it's just people like screaming. Run where? What does this mean?
I saw someone on social media, I was like, I feel so seen say, I love the Traitors. You have like reaction from last week, then you get to like check your phone for 10 minutes while they do challenges and then you watch Roundtable.
That is true, actually. Have you tried doing it with like the audio description as well?
Yes, I had tried that, but it's overly described. Like I think it's amazing that that's there for people who need it. But also when you're cycling, it just becomes a bit much, like the audio description plus people talking.
You've got things to focus on.
But
while
it's
you're
so funny
that.
that you predicted that I would try that and I did try it.
Well, it makes sense if you're just sort of doing the audio only. Would you ever go on the Traitors?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, probably if I'm leader, probably not while I was leader, because I feel like if I got made a traitor, that's just like the destruction of the party waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would have the calm political mind I have most of the time to go, that's probably not going to be good for the party or me. So let's not do that, despite how I feel about Anne Widdecombe in this moment. Like just maintaining composure. But I'm so competitive that I think if I was on a reality TV show, there would be no bus I wouldn't be willing to throw someone under, which I wouldn't in life. And I wouldn't in politics. But in a contest, in a game show, I'd feel like it was legitimate.
I mean, in a way, is this like leadership contest not its own mini reality TV show?
I mean, there's a lot to it, right? In terms of people often say that, politics shouldn't be popularity contests. I'm like, it kind of is. Like, I wish it was about policy. And I'm more than happy to talk about policy all day long. And I think we really need to centre policy. But I think politics, other than on the right of politics, where we've had Farage, has just been missing people that the public can connect with, that they can trust in, feel relatable to, and are able to carry a message. And I think obviously we've got Jeremy too, who's been amazing at that as well. But just people that people can connect with and go, you know what, there's a human being that I feel like I could probably go to a cafe or go to the pub with and not feel like they were. So many politicians are weird, and I really mean this respectfully to them. Like, you go to like a networking event or an event and you're chatting with them, you talk about policy and it's fine, but then talk about anything that isn't politics and they literally have nothing to say, because a lot of them, came out of university, went to university, studied politics, then worked for a Labour MP, then did whatever they could do to climb the ranks, and now they're a Labour MP, and there's just no sense of like lived experience or having been in communities and worked with people, or why they're doing the politics in the first place, which is why I think we get the politicians we do. Not all of them. There are some, that can have a laugh and get on with stuff, but it's pretty rare.
Well, yeah, career politicians are boring. That's not what you said. That's what I'm saying.
I know, I'm quite happy to say it. I'd say it's worse than boring. It's quite sinister as well. Because they're in positions of power, but what do they want to do with that power other than maintain it? And the last thing we need right now is status quo maintaining when things are so crap for so many people. Yeah.
I mean, not to like lessen the point that you just made, but I get freaked out by drag queens who only do drag to get on Drag Race. I feel like it's the same principle, because I'm like, what are you bringing to the table other than a human hair unit and a jump split?
Totally.
Like, you're not going to give me any like comedy, or like, what's your snatch game going to be? Someone like a snatch game that you've seen someone else like.
And we see this though with contestants, right? You can see it a mile away, and it has that like layer of inauthenticity you can't quite put your finger on, but you can never quite get lost in them.
Yeah, because they're not bringing something to the table that's like from what they've like experienced in their own life. And I feel like that's really important to have a perspective, I guess, both in drag and in the political sphere.
Am I being cruel to say I feel like that about a lot of the recent Drag Race seasons? I'm not talking about the All-Star seasons, because you have legitimate icons coming back in with their authenticity. But maybe the last 2 or 3 seasons, I felt there's been like a couple of standout stars. But there's been a lot of people trying to replicate or re-rehearse what's happened or worked in the past. And you kind of watch it and you go, 1, you're not doing it as well. And 2, it was amazing because it was unique and authentic. And actually, I can only imagine how terrifying it is, because I feel this as a politician, a public speaker too. My best work is when it's unrehearsed, unplanned, pick up the microphone and you talk and you surprise yourself with what you say, and there's a risk to that.
Yeah.
But like, over-rehearsing is the death of any performance, both for a politician, but I think especially for a drag queen, when it looks so controlled, you're just like, I can't enjoy it.
Oh, I totally agree.
We need more messy drag queens.
I totally agree. That's how I felt about the last 2 or 3 seasons of UK politics.
Right.
We need more messy politicians. Be real. Be yourself. Be bold. Be authentic. On that note, we have come to the end of our chat. Now, what usually happens is I do a scene with someone based on something that we've spoken about. But I wanted to do something different with you.
I'm going to shablam, right?
Yeah. We're going to do a lip sync for your... No, we're not doing that. You know how online you often get those like quizzes that tell you your political leanings and what party you might be most aligned with? I'm obviously not going to do that with you because we know the answer to that question. But I thought I would give you my version of that, which is a quiz to find out which Drag Race UK contestant you are. Producer Poppy, do you have the laptop? Right, we're going to ask you a series of questions, and we're going to find out, according to this random quiz from the internet, which Drag Race UK contestant you are, because this is what we need to know in politics.
This is going to decide the leadership race. You might destroy all political ambition right here.
No, if
I'm going to be pork chop, aren't I?
Absolutely not. If you don't win,
I can't remember who was it. Was it Gothy Kendall, the pork chop of UK Drag Race?
Gothy Kendall was the first ever.
But then they came back and had a redemption arc, right?
Well, only because I didn't send them home. But yes, they did have a redemption arc. On UK versus the World Season 2, watch it now on BBC iPlayer. Question number 1. Which type of outfit are you most likely to wear on the runway? A campy fun outfit, a polished, sophisticated ensemble, I feel like it's this one, a bold statement-making costume, or an avant-garde high fashion look?
Well, let's go bold statement. You can't have bold leadership without a bold costume.
That's right.
You need to design, like, if I win the day of the announcement, what I wear.
I
need to take that back before you say yes and we get into too serious a conversation.
No, I'm taking this very seriously. I've got a vision. Question number 2. How do you prefer to make an audience laugh during a performance? quick wit and clever one-liners, physical comedy and exaggerated expressions, a mix of humour and heartfelt moments, or impersonations with spot-on accuracy.
Humour and heartfelt moments.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's what we need more of in this world, I think. What is your preferred performance style during a lip sync battle? Emotion-driven acting, high-energy dance moves, comedic and campy performance, or a polished and technically precise routine?
I think we want high-action dance moves. I think that's all people want, right? The cartwheels and the splits.
Yeah, which I can teach you all about that.
Amazing.
Absolutely not. How would you describe your personality? Charming and relatable with a touch of wit? Intuitive, sensitive, and deeply empathetic? Calm, collected, and always poised under pressure? Or bold, outspoken, and always the centre of attention? I would choose a mix of those.
I'm going to say deeply empathetic and a bit of attention, but I'll go with deeply empathetic.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. What strategy would you use to win Drag Race? Focus. Okay, this is very relevant because you're currently trying to win. Focus on polishing every detail and never faltering. Stay true to your unique sense of style and be memorable. Show major growth and win everyone over with a story, or stand out with comedy and personality.
I think stay true to yourself.
I like
the growth
that.
one was interesting, but it kind of implies you have to be a bit crap to start off with.
Well, listen, sometimes you can crap to start with and come back for another season. Which past Drag Race challenge would you dominate? A girl group challenge with killer choreography.
I wish I could, but I wouldn't.
Well, we can work on it. We'll start a drag group together. An acting challenge with spot-on character work. The snatch game with celebrity impersonations, or a runway challenge with show-stopping looks.
Gonna have to be the acting one.
Okay, agreed. I see that. God, there are a lot of questions. I didn't really think this through. How do you handle critiques from the judges? Relevant. Find the humour in the situation. Remain unfazed and stay true to your vision. Use critiques as inspiration to push boundaries even further, or take every critique to heart and improve accordingly.
So take every critique and cry. But no, humour. The humour one. Just laugh about it.
What's your favourite part about being on Drag Race? Creating stunning runway looks, making people laugh, engaging with fans, or proving your versatility?
Making people laugh.
Oh, that's nice. How do you react in high-pressure situations? Very relevant. Keep calm and carry on. Laugh it off and take it all in stride. Let your competitive spirit shine, or channel the pressure into more creativity.
Oh, channel the pressure.
Okay, I like that. Which critique from RuPaul would you most fear? Not showing enough personality or star quality, lacking originality and creativity in your looks, being unable to handle constructive criticism, or failing to connect with the audience during performances?
Oh, failing to connect. That's horrible.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a core value of a drag performer. What inspires your drag the most? Comedy and camp, high fashion, personal experiences and emotional storytelling, or classic glamour and Hollywood elegance?
Personal experiences and emotional storytelling.
I feel like that's very relevant. What do you think is the most important quality in a Drag Race winner? Unique fashion and strong visual presence, not for me. Relatability and charisma that connects with the audience, comedic timing and ability to entertain, or adaptability and versatility in challenges.
It is relatability and charisma.
Absolutely agree. And finally, we got there. How do you feel about collaborating with other queens in group challenges? I swear I haven't been asking coded political questions in this. This is a real quiz. Find it challenging, but do your best to adapt. You prefer solo challenges where you can shine on your own terms. You can work with others, but you prefer to stand out individually, or you thrive in group settings and love collaborating. This does feel very pointed.
I do thrive in group settings and collaboration.
Interesting. Foreshadowing, who knows? Okay, right, I'm submitting your answers. We're about to find out. I really hope it's me.
I was about to do the countdown music, but that's blending too many shows at once.
Do you know what? An unexpected result. But I feel like this is a great one. As she was personally my friend, you did get the Vivian.
Oh, amazing. That feels quite touching as well.
Yeah, impeccable impersonations, comedic timing, and setting the bar high with your portrayal of Donald Trump, not relevant in this situation, in the first ever Snatch Game. Sharp wit, commanding presence, and more importantly, the first ever UK winner. So I feel like if we were foreshadowing anything, you got the first winner.
I have to say, one when that season was on, I was stood outside a bar in Soho, which I won't name, standing with some migrant workers who weren't being paid properly. So we had a picket line. And it happened that Drag Race was the finale launch party or something like that was happening in the basement of it. And Vivian walked past me and the Guardian were there doing it. And I explained quickly what was happening. And she went, "You're going to get me into trouble." And I went, "Trouble, or are you going to do the right thing?" And she came and stood with me on the picket line. Only for a second.
No, but that's very Viv.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me today.
I've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
No, it's been great. And I believe, is it the 2nd of September that we find out?
That's right.
The results? I mean, I know in my heart what the result is going to be, but I anticipate...
I just hope I'm not, delusional syndrome.
No. You're not the Jombas blonde of this situation. Don't worry.